ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
भगवती उत्तम श्लोके
भगवती उत्तम श्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी.
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी.
So today we are going to read from chapter 11, the universal form, and the verse number is 55. Last Saturday we covered 54, which is one of the very prominent verses, and today we are going to discuss 55. Mat karma kran mat paramo
मत कर्म मत परमो
मद भक्त संग वर्जिता
मद भक्त संग वर्जितः
निर्वैर सर्वभूतेषु
निर्वैर सर्वभूतेषु
यस माम एति पांडव
यस मामेति पांडव
मत कर्म कृन मत परमो
मत कर्म कृत मत परमो
मद भक्त संग वर्जित
मद भक्त संग वर्जितः
निर्वैर सर्वभूतेषु
निर्वैर सर्वभूतेषु
यस माम एति पांडव
यस मामेति पांडव.
Prabhuji or Mataji would like to read.
मत कर्म कृत मत परमो
मत कर्म कृत मत परमो
मद भक्त संग वर्जितः
मद भक्त संग वर्जित
निर्वैर सर्वभूतेषु
निर्वैर सर्वभूतेषु
यस मामेति पांडव
यस मामेति पांडव.
मत कर्म कृन मत परमो
मत कर्म कृत मत परमो
मद भक्त संग वर्जितः
मद भक्त संग वर्जितः
निर्वैरः सर्वभूतेषु
निर्वैर सर्वभूतेषु
यः स माम एति पांडव
यस मामेति पांडव.
मत कर्म मत परमो
मत कर्म कृन मत परमो
परमो
मद भक्त संग वर्जितः
मद भक्त संग वर्जितः
निर्वैरः सर्वभूतेषु
निर्वैर सर्वभूतेषु
ये स माम एति पांडव
यस मामेति पांडव.
मत कर्म कर्म मत परमो
मत कर्म कृत मत परमो
मद भक्त संग वर्जितः
मद भक्त संग वर्जितः
निर्भय सर्वभूतेषु
निर्वैर सर्वभूतेषु
यस माम इति पांडव
यस मामेति पांडव.
Thank you. Word by word meaning. Mat karma krit.
मत कर्म कृत
Engaged in doing my work.
engage in doing my work.
Mat parama.
मत परम
Considering me the supreme.
considering me the supreme.
Mat bhakta.
मद भक्त
Engaged in my devotional service.
engage in my devotional service.
Sangha varjita.
संग वर्जितः
Freed from the contamination of fruitive activities and mental speculation.
Freed from the contamination of fruitive activities
and
and mental speculation.
Nirvaira,
Nirvairaha,
without an enemy.
without
an enemy.
Sarva Bhutesu,
Sarva Bhuteshu,
among all living entities.
among all living entities.
Ya,
Yeah.
one who.
One who.
Sa,
Sa,
he.
Mam,
Mama, unto me.
unto me.
Eti,
Iti,
comes.
Pandava,
O son of Pandu.
O son of Pandu.
Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
My dear Arjuna,
My dear Arjuna,
he who engages in my pure devotional service,
he who engages in my pure devotional service,
free from the contaminations of fruitive activities,
free from the contaminations of fruitive activities
and mental speculation,
and mental speculation,
he who works for me,
he who works for me,
who makes me the supreme goal of his life,
who makes me the supreme goal of his life,
and who is friendly to every living being,
and who is
friendly to every living being,
he certainly comes to me.
he certainly
comes to me.
This is a very, very long purport. We all will have a chance. So any Prabhuji or Mataji would like to read this page?
Anyone who wants to approach the supreme of all the personalities of Godhead on the Krishna Lok planet in the spiritual sky and be intimately connected with the Supreme Personality Krishna must take this formula as stated by the Supreme himself. Therefore, this verse is considered to be the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is a book directed to the conditioned soul who are engaged in the material world with the purpose of lording it over nature and who do not know of the real spiritual life. The Bhagavad Gita is meant to show how one can understand his spiritual existence and his eternal relationship with the Supreme Spiritual Personality, and to teach one now how to go back home, back to Godhead. Now here is the verse which clearly explains the process by which one can attain success in his spiritual activity, devotional service. As far as work is concerned, one should transfer his energy entirely to Krishna conscious activities, as stated in the Bhakti Rasamrut Sindhu 12255.
Anakshaktasya visayan yatharam. Go ahead, probably. No problem. Yatharam upayunyata nirbandha Krishna sambandhe yuktam vairagyam uchyate. You can continue, Prabhu.
No work should be done by any man except in relationship to Krishna. This is called Krishna karma. One may be engaged in various activities, but one should not be attached to the result of his work. The result should be done only for him. For example, one may be engaged in business, but to transport that activity into Krishna consciousness, one has to do business for Krishna. If Krishna is the proprietor of the business, then Krishna should enjoy the profit of the business. If a businessman is in possession of thousands and thousands of dollars, and if he has to offer all this to Krishna, he can do it. This is work for Krishna. Instead of constructing a big building for his sense gratification, he can construct a nice temple for Krishna, and he can install the deity of Krishna and arrange for the deity's service as is outlined in the authorized books of devotional service.
Thank you, Prabhu. Somebody else might like to read this page.
This is all Krishna karma. One should not be attached to the result of his work, but the result should be offered to Krishna. And one should accept as prasadam the remnants of offerings to Krishna. If one constructs a very big building for Krishna and installs the deity of Krishna, one is not prohibited from living there, but it is understood that the proprietor of the building is Krishna. That is called Krishna consciousness. If, however, one is not able to construct a temple for Krishna, one can engage himself in cleansing the temple of Krishna. That is also Krishna karma. One can cultivate a garden. Anyone who has land in India, at least in a poor man has a certain amount of land, can utilize that for Krishna by growing flowers to offer him. One can sow tulsi plants because tulsi leaves are very important, and Krishna has recommended this in Bhagavad Gita. Patram puspam phalam.
Yeah.
Krishna desires that one offer him either a leaf or a flower or fruit or little water, and by such an offering, he is satisfied. This leaf especially refers to the tulsi. So, one can sow tulsi and pour water on the plant. Thus, even the poorest man can engage in the service of Krishna. These are some of the examples of how one can engage in working for Krishna.
The word Matparma refers to one who considers the association of Krishna Supreme abode to be the highest perfection of life. Such a person doesn't wish to be elevated to the higher planets, such as or sun or heavenly planets, or even the highest planet of the universe, Brahma Loka. He has no attraction for that. He is only attracted to being transferred to the spiritual sky. And even in the spiritual sky, he is not satisfied with merging into the glowing Brahma Jyotir effulgence. For he wants to enter the highest spiritual planet, namely Krishna Loka. Goloka Vrindavan. He has full knowledge of that planet, and therefore he is not interested in any other, as indicated by the word Mad Bhakta. He fully engages in devotional service, specifically in the 9 processes of devotional engagement: hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering prayers, carrying out the orders of the Lord, making friends with him, and surrendering everything to him. One can engage in all 9 devotional processes, or 8 or 7, or at least in one, and that will surely make one perfect.
Anyone else would like to read this? Thank you, Prabhu.
The term Sangha Varjita is very significant. One should disassociate himself from persons who are against Krishna. Not only are the atheistic people against Krishna, but so also are those who are attracted to fruitive activities and mental speculation. Therefore, the pure form of devotional service is described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.11 as follows: Anya bhilasitas shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena krishnanu ilanam bhaktir uttama. In this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami clearly states that if anyone wants to execute unalloyed devotional service, he must be freed from all kinds of material contamination. He must be freed from the association of persons who are addicted to fruitive activities and mental speculation. When freed from such unwanted association and from the contamination of material desires, one favorably cultivates knowledge of Krishna. That is called pure devotional service. Anukul yasya sankalpa pratikul yasya varjanam. Hari Bhakti Vilasa 11.676. One should think of Krishna and act for Krishna favorably, not unfavorably. Kamsa was an enemy of Krishna. From the very beginning of Krishna's birth, Kamsa planned in so many ways to kill him. And because he was always unsuccessful, he was always thinking of Krishna. Thus, while working, while eating, and while sleeping, he was always Krishna conscious in every respect. But that Krishna conscious was not favorable. And therefore, in spite of his always thinking of Krishna 24 hours a day, he was considered a demon, and Krishna at last killed him. Of course, anyone who is killed by Krishna attains salvation immediately, but that is not the aim of a pure devotee. The pure devotee does not even want salvation. He does not want to be transferred even to the highest planet, Goloka Vrindavana. His only objective is to serve Krishna wherever he may be.
Thank you, Prabhu. And this is the last page. If anybody wants to read, otherwise I can.
A devotee of Krishna is friendly to everyone. Therefore, it is said here that he has no enemy, nirvairaha. How is this? A devotee situated in Krishna consciousness knows that only devotional service to Krishna can relieve a person from all the problems of life. He has personal experience of this, and therefore he wants to introduce this system, Krishna consciousness, into human society. There are many examples in history of devotees of the Lord who risk their lives for the spreading of God consciousness. The favorite example is Lord Jesus Christ. He was crucified by the non-devotees, but he sacrificed his life for spreading God consciousness. Of course, it would be superficial to understand that he was killed. Similarly, in India also there are many examples such as Thakur Haridas and Prahalad Maharaj. Why such risk? Because they wanted to spread a Krishna consciousness, and it is difficult. A Krishna consciousness person knows that if a man is suffering, it is due to his forgetfulness of his eternal relationship with Krishna. Therefore, the highest benefit one can render to human society is relieving one's neighbor from all material problems. In such a way, pure devotee is engaged in the service of Lord. Now we can imagine how merciful Krishna is to those engaged in his service, risking everything for him. Therefore, it is certain that such persons must reach the supreme planet after leaving the body. In summary, the universal form of Krishna, which is a temporary manifestation, and the form of time which devours everything, and even the form of Vishnu 400 have all been exhibited by Krishna. Thus, Krishna is the origin of all these manifestations. It is not that Krishna is a manifestation of the original Vishwarupa or Vishnu. Krishna is the origin of all forms. There are hundreds and thousands of Vishnus, but for a devotee, no form of Krishna is important but the original form 200, Shyamasundar. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that those who are attached to the Shyamasundar form of Krishna in love and devotion can see him always within the heart and cannot see anything else. One should understand, therefore, that the purport of this 11th chapter is that the form of Krishna is essential and supreme. Thus ends Bhaktivedanta proposed to the 11th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of universal form.
Chapter 11, Ki Jai. Thank you so much. This is the end of the chapter, as Prabhuji mentioned. So let's all chant together. Thank you, everyone. And we'll start the discussion. Om Agyanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmritam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namo Sri Chaitanya Manobhastam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Kadamaiham Dadati Swavadantikam Bandeham Sri Guru Sri Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavani Shri Vishnu Te Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kripa Sindhu Varevacha Paridanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Adi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Lajal Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadra Jagannathaya Namo. Thank you so much for joining this wonderful Sangha. Today we are ending chapter 11. And look at the amount of details Srila Prabhupada has put by writing such a wonderful purport, which we all read. And this is one of the essence of Bhagavad Gita as well, after the Chatur Shloki and the 18th chapter, speaking about the finally surrendering. But this is also a very, very important verse. And here Krishna is saying, Mat karma krit mat paramo, mat bhakta sangha varjita, nirvairi sarva bhutesu yasama iti pandava. So there are 5 things Krishna is saying here. Let's focus on these 5 things, which is the essence of this verse. Mat karma krit, work for me. So what Srila Prabhupada wrote as Krishna karma, as one of you wrote, Krishna karma. Working for Krishna is something Lord Krishna is explaining here, is something by virtue of which you can come to me. So like there are various different things, like somebody can serve in a temple, somebody can work towards building a temple, somebody can bring deities from various different dhams to temple, someone can clean the temple. So any form of Krishna karma, Krishna is saying is, by doing any form of Krishna karma, that's one of the attributes of coming to me. Sometimes we tend to think, if we help in a hospital, if there are people who are not eating, we help them. Is that not Krishna consciousness? See, this is where the classic example is given all the time. A kid is lost in a fair. He has lost his father, and he's crying. He doesn't know where to go. And there, one person comes and he says, "You look thirsty. Why are you crying?" The kid says, "I lost my father. I'm looking for my father." But the person who is in touch with that kid at that point in time doesn't know who father is. And he gives some drinks, and the drinks quenches the thirst. But still, the kid is crying. Then he meets somebody where a person from his perception, from his mental concussion, felt that this kid is having hunger. So he asks, "Why are you here? You look very hungry." The kid says, "I'm looking for my father." The kid is, the person says, "I don't know how your father looks, but if you can eat this little sandwich, your hunger will be quenched." And the kid is still crying. And finally, there happens to be a person who gets hold of him and he says, "Hey, I found your father." And once the father is united with the kid has got everything. You can help in many different ways anywhere, but if you don't know who your Supreme Father is and what you need to do to have a relationship with the Father, then whatever else you do, whatever charity you do, whatever self-development work you do, whatever social development work you end up doing, it is considered that Krishna consciousness, everything comes from Krishna, Aham Sarvasya Prabhu, and Krishna is the seed-giving father of all of us. He is Aham Beja Pradapita, he says. So we are part and parcel of Krishna. Having that ultimate relationship with the Supreme is the goal of life. Not doing this little charity or giving this $101 to this cancer society. They're all good, they're decent. But the real work lies in identifying who you are and who is the Supreme Father, where you came from, and what is the relationship between them. That's the reason why, however many drinks you give to that kid who lost his father, how many ever food you end up giving to that kid, it's not good enough. Uniting the kid with the father is the essence of the help. You can help in very auxiliary way, but doing things for the ultimate purpose is the goal of life. That's the reason why whatever you do, wherever you do, United Way, Red Cross, good. But the real essence is to serve the Supreme. And that is where you reunite your constitutional position with where you came from. And without that, anything you end up doing is all auxiliary. They are sometimes, it gives you good feeling. It sometimes, get you to sort of do your taxes properly so that you can get some money back from Uncle Sam by helping somebody. But the real goal, which is the first thing which Krishna says here, is to work for me. And the reason why you should work for me is exactly how the kid who lost his father felt. And when the father is united, the purpose of the life was satisfied. The second thing Krishna says, Mat Paramo. Many times what happens is we tend to think, Ganesh is supreme. Ganesh, Deva, Kartik is supreme. In doing so, what happens is we're doing a real disservice. When Lord Ganesh considers Krishna as the supreme, by uniting, or rather putting Lord Ganesh or Kartik at the same level as Krishna, is a disservice to Lord Ganesh. And that's why Krishna says, I am the source of everything. Aham sarvasya prabho, everything comes from me. Just think that I am the supreme. Don't think anybody else is more supreme than us. Krishna is emphatically saying. In other scriptures, you'll see, the protagonist or the hero, you would be saying, I am the son of God, I am the messenger of God. But Bhagavad Gita is the only scripture that Krishna emphatically, explicitly says, I am God. Everything comes from me. I am the seed-giving father of everyone. So consider me as a supreme. Don't consider other demigods as supreme, which is essentially why we as practitioners of the love for Godhead, if we do not consider, if you do not know our goal, if you think that the 33 crores are our goal, then there will be a lot of disarray in our understanding. And we have gone through chapter 2 and, the Purna Purushottam Krishna, Garvadakshaya Vishnu, Purna Purushottam Krishna, Balram, whose appearance day is coming in 3-4 days. Then Garvadakshaya Vishnu, Garvadakshaya Vishnu, Karvadakshaya Vishnu, and Kirudakshaya Vishnu, going from a global to the marginal energy of the Lord, where he is part as in our hearts, he's present in our heart as Paramatma. It's very clearly mentioned in Brahma Samhita, in Srimad Bhagavatam, as to who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If somebody is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, consider the person as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mat Paramo. And the third thing, Krishna says, Mad Bhakta, become my devotee. Why it is important to become Krishna's devotee? Working for Krishna, Mad Karma Kran, and Mad Bhakta, become my devotee, are a bit different. Why being a devotee is important? How to become a devotee? So there is 9 processes of how to become a devotee is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Prahlada Maharaj is saying, there's a spelling mistake. Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. Prahlad Maharaj is saying that Shravanam Kirtanam, Shravanam, that means hearing about the transcendental holy name. Always hear about the glories of the Lord. And by hearing about the glories of the Lord, you could become a devotee. The devotees who just go to the temple, they hear Zoom sessions or whatever sessions, just by pure hearing, they become pure devotees. Hearing, and Maharaj Parikshit, who just heard Srimad Bhagavatam again and again, and he was about to leave his body, and as you know, his final days, He knew that his death is coming. And when the death is coming, what did he choose? He chose not to, indulge in material things. There are many people, who work in hospital who say when the person knows that he's about to die, they realize that this is the only life they have got, and they want to really enjoy all the material benefits at that point in time, because they know that they have 2-3 days or 2-3 months to survive. And that attitude is so awful in comparison to that. When Parikshit Maharaj recognized that he has few days left, what did he do? He started hearing. And the second way to become Krishna's devotee is kirtanam. You chant the holy name. You chant 16 rounds. You chant whatever rounds is possible. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So constantly chanting the holy name of the Lord. Always, and who does the kirtanam of the Lord? Who always speaks about the Lord? An epitome of that is Sukadeva Goswami, who was actually reciting Srimad Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit. And that's how you become a devotee. Smaranam, remember the forms of the Lord, the qualities of the Lord, the paraphernalia of the Lord, the pastimes of the Lord. Who did that? Prahlad Maharaj. Always thinking about the Lord, even if his father was beating him mercilessly, was torturing him. The first child abuse in the whole world was started with Hiranyakashipu abusing his son in unthinkable ways. And in spite of that, Prahlad Maharaj was remembering the forms of the Lord, the qualities of the Lord, paraphernalia of the Lord. And he was into so much of remembrance or smaranam that he could imagine that Lord is everywhere. He could see Lord can come in any form, half lion, half man form. He can come from anywhere, from the door, from the pillar, anywhere. And the deep smaranam, deep remembrance of the Lord is significant. You can also become a devotee by Pada Sevanam, by serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Mother Lakshmi is always massaging the feet of the Lord. He is the goddess of virtue. She has everything, but she is always doing Pada Sevanam, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, or devotees in this example. And then Archanam, offering Lord respectful worship with Sodasa Upachar. Maharaj Prithu was constantly Archanam. So sometimes people ask, in this modern age, there is no time to do puja, this, that, and all. But what is puja doing here? Puja is making your mind focused. Anytime we tend to think that something which you cannot see or visualize, that's not true. Every step of the way, people are asking us for proof as to how can this be right? How can this be right? Archanam gets the focus right. And when you focus on, offering water to the Lord, or doing dhoop to the Lord, incense, so for the pleasure of the Lord, or doing arati to the Lord, offering diya to the Lord, or offering some bhoga to the Lord, you are basically focusing on pleasing the Lord. When the Lord is pleased, everyone is pleased. So Archanam, with the process which is laid out in the Vidhis, is a way by which you can become a devotee. Bandaram, offering prayers to the Lord. Akrura, who was always praying to the Lord, and by offering prayers to the Lord, by writing nice poems glorifying the Lord, you can become a devotee. Dasyam, becoming a servant. We all have a surname called Das. That means we are actually the servant of the servant of the servant. Hanuman epitomizes that servitorship. Always he is serving the Lord. A time was there when they were looking for a service. Everybody took all good service, but Hanumanji had no service. So at the time, Hanumanji said, when Ramji, after doing the administration of the Ayodhya, falls asleep and he yawns, I'll do this, this sound with my fingers to wake him up. So that he was so much focused in observing Lord Ram that he can become a servant who can do any menial service possible. And then the other way to become a devotee is to become a friend, which is exactly what Arjuna is, by surrendering to the Supreme, by becoming a friend. And with a friend, there are a lot of activities which are often shared between two friends. And that is how you can also become a devotee. And also, the ninth one, as Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Atma Nivedan, by surrendering everything, body, mind, words, BMW, to the Lord. If you surrender your BMW, body, mind, and words, you can do Atma Nivedanam. And Bali Maharaj was so much showcase of servitorship in the form of his true heart. He exhibited, he gave his body, he gave his mind, and he gave it his words, and he was pushed down into the Patal Lok by Vamanadev, who came to deliver Bali Maharaj, and he gave everything for the Lord. So, becoming a devotee, very simple process. You can pick any of them, you can pick 2 of them, you can pick 9 of them, but Krishna is saying, Mad Bhakta, become my devotee. And then Krishna goes on to say, Sangha Varjita, give up material attachment. Sangha Varjita gives up material attachment. So there, Srila Prabhupada says, Anukulyanashu. And there, anything which is favorable to the process of getting yourself closer to the Supreme, you foster that. But any attachment which is taking you away from Krishna, typically material attachments gets you there. You see TV, you always think about those, this modern music, which is not very pleasing to the mind. It tends to put disarray, and they have so much of wrong meanings that it really takes you away from the Krishna consciousness. Anything which is basically not favorable, just get rid of it and align yourself with something which is favorable. Associate with devotees, because devotees relationship is the topmost relationship, because there is no such expectation from anyone, because everybody is focused on pleasing the Supreme. That's the reason why when you have attachment with the devotees, you all are talking about, Krishna is getting ready for, Balramji's appearance is coming. So you're constantly thinking, and then we will have the Janmashtami coming up. So you're constantly thinking about the glories of the Lord. So give up material attachments, give up anything which is unfavorable, attach or associate with those which are favorable in your pursuit of Krishna consciousness. And Nirvairi means enemy. Nirvairi means, that means anybody who doesn't have any enemy. Nirvairi Sarvabhuti. So that it said that the devotees of the Lord are Ajata Satrus. They do not have any enemies. Why they do not have enemies? Because they think that everybody is part and parcel of the Supreme. And as everybody is part and parcel of Supreme, we are all spiritual brothers, cousins. And because we are spiritual brothers, cousins, because we all are connected to Krishna, because Krishna says, Aham Bija Pradapita. That means because we are all related to each other, then we are all related. And that's the reason why, even if it's not a material relationship, like a family or a relative, that relationship makes us not have a thought process where you could hurt somebody. So that's why devotees are not enemies of anyone. And And this is where, so who you should love, you should not hate. You should not hate. You should not hate the God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in this example, and his devotees, and aspiring devotees, and the devotees who are and the people who are not yet devotees, who will someday become devotees. So there are 4 kinds of people you should not hate. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, you should love the Supreme Personality. That's exactly what is all about, loving the Godhead. Then you should not hate devotees. The third one is you should not hate aspiring devotees. And the 4th one is you should not hate non-devotees, because they are the seed-giving kids of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So they are our spiritual cousins, even if they are not following any practice of Krishna consciousness. That's the reason why we are devotees do not have any enemies. And I'm going back to this point. When you think about hating somebody, here they talk about hating somebody. Let's try to understand a little bit about hate. So when you hate somebody, actually, Hiranyakashipu was hating Vishnu. But that is the cause. But what is the effect? Hiranyakashipu eventually was torturing his son. So when you hate somebody, for example, the Pandavas were in love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. The Kauravas hated Pandavas. But because Krishna was close to the Pandavas, they ended up eventually hating the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which got them to the downfall. So the hate is a thing which starts the cause, but the effect is somewhere else. Daksha Prajapati he loved his daughter, but he hated Lord Shiva. Because he hated Lord Shiva, eventually his dearest possession, his daughter, Mother Sati, became hateful to her father. See, this hate is not a very simple thing. It takes time to understand hate. So Krishna, in this verse, has given 5 powerful messages for us. And anytime we have this discussion, you know what? Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, and that was in a battlefield. And in that battlefield, Krishna was not fostering non-violence. He was fostering violence. So here, when the battle is about to break out, he is telling to Arjuna not to hate Duryodhana, but he's saying kill Duryodhana. So let's try to understand. There are 2 points here. Anytime, you go out, there are many opponents to this Bhagavad Gita. They will say, Bhagavad Gita is full of violence. There is nothing which calms you down. There's nothing. But here, Krishna is saying, don't hate Duryodhana. Don't hate any living being. Right in the battle of Kurukshetra, when he's about to give a judgment to kill Duryodhana, he's saying, don't hate. It's very difficult to understand that. And that's why we want to discuss this in this forum, so that everybody gets the message that killing Duryodhana is because he is not upholding dharma. So that's why we should always hate the sin, not the sinner. the aspect of not giving 5 villages to Pandava is a sin, and that has to be curtailed, and that needs killing Duryodhana. But the aspect of hating Duryodhana just because he disrobed and just because he did not, that's not what Krishna is saying here. So it's a very, very powerful verse if you think about it. It's sending a very clear message to all of us that I just want to summarize and we'll end here, that charities are okay, but doing thing in the temple for the Supreme or any form of activity for pleasing the Lord, distributing books, attending festivals, doing volunteerism, work for Krishna. Consider Krishna as the Supreme. Don't consider everybody else to the Supreme. You can consider them in the lineage and you can offer your obeisances, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Purna Purushottam Krishna. Become a devotee. And how you can become a devotee? There are 9 steps. Give up material attachment and don't hate anyone. And it's a process. It's a work in progress. Not hating somebody is not something you and me can inculcate right then and there. But when these things go into my ear, when these things go into your ear, you recognize that we don't have to hate the sinner. We can hate the sin and leave it like that and work on loving everybody and becoming a Ajata Satru like all devotees are. Very, very powerful message in this verse, which is exactly why this Bhagavad Gita as it is, the way it is written, it is considered the most powerful message we can ever take home. It's often confused by people. There are many people who are willing to ransack it without understanding the true message. That's the reason why you should understand it from a devotee. And then the greatest devotee who came 55 years ago to spread the core molecular meaning, the absolute meaning, is Srila Prabhupada. And that's the reason why this Bhagavad Gita is the most sought after Bhagavad Gita in the whole world. The message is complex, but the process is simple. So with that, I would like to end here. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Any questions, comments, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. All glories to Team Jagannath. Prabhuji, all points covered. There is none left for us to contemplate. But few realizations of mine which I want to share when you are presenting these points. Work for me, Prabhuji. That is the first one. Work for me means I want to give some what Guru Maharaj has told me, Charu Swami Maharaj. He has told that in this world, how to be practical in this world is basically we work for somebody asked, like Amritanand Prabhu also asked this question, I think. When we work for we make our home Krishna's home, and we work for that, and we cook for Krishna. We basically, if we don't, I don't want to repeat that point, keeping Krishna in the center, but whatever we do, if we do that, thinking it's for Krishna, it automatically converts into a Krishna karma. Because we don't have to make any special endeavors. Of course, if we have time, if we have energy, if we have Lakshmi, definitely we should do all those. But bare minimum, if we cannot do all those things for whatever reasons, we can at least think Krishna, our home to be center, and serve it. And whatever on this point, somebody asked Bhakti Charu Maharaj that in scriptures it is written that you should give 50% of your income for for service. So Bhakticharu Maharaj told a very practical point to it, which I just wanted to bring to this forum. He told, you already pay taxes 30 to 35%. So don't worry about the numbers. Even if you give 5-10%, whatever your pocket allows you, that is fine. The point is that we should work, because I can give this 5% to Krishna. That is what the point which I want to tell. That work for the 5%. That okay, then you get the bliss of working, Prabhuji. Otherwise, you don't get the bliss of working. And the second point which I want to tell is, Prabhuji, is hearing. You taught us about hearing, Prabhuji. Prabhupada always tells that of all our senses, hearing is the most powerful sense, Prabhuji. Even while sleeping, alarm we put. Why? We don't think. We don't. All other activities of other senses are almost dormant. But even while sleeping, only the hearing activity is not dormant. So we can leverage that. We can leverage that the basic hearing process dovetail to what Krishna is telling. And third is as we have told, Sangha Varjita, association of the devotees, Prabhuji. That is why this ISKCON, this Bhakti Vriksha, this is formed. Otherwise, Prabhupada could have stayed in Vrindavan. He was already elevated. He could have spent his life, and still he would have gone to he would have gone to Vaikuntha, Krishna Lok, right? But he came and fostered this society, and this, of course, on his Guru Maharaj's. So just to give us the association. Hadn't he given us this association, we wouldn't have been here where we are, right? So these are the 2 points which I wanted to. We can go on and on, Prabhuji, but I will let other devotees also talk. But these 2 points I wanted to say. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you. I just want to add to your first point. Whenever we earn something, there are roads provided to us. There are by the government, the electricity and whatever, and schools. We ended up paying tax, and if you do not pay tax at the right time, you get a nasty letter. So by providing this little benefits to us around us, and if you don't pay tax, we are liable, and it is not considered good. Likewise, this beautiful universe we have read and we have experienced, that beautiful universe is created by a creator, and this energies are created by an energetic, and so many things happen, and we do not do anything for that. We're not grateful for this beautiful life he has given us. Out of the 8.4 million species, he could have made us something else, where we wouldn't be able to discuss this beautiful pastimes. And because he has given this, and we see that when we do not end up paying taxes, how difficult it is. So in that relationship, our acharyas have mentioned why we have to donate to temple, why we have to work for it. Because if Krishna would be shelling out tax bills, then we have a lot to pay. And that is where the prarabdha karma comes in. And that is the reason why it is recommended that we work. And Krishna is exactly saying that work. So in the third, I'll just add this analogy of Uncle Sam and our ability to do something for the Supreme. And it is not always not calculated. Somebody gives 5%, somebody gives 2%. But whenever you end up giving or doing something for the Supreme, there is an element of bliss, which you can only reciprocate, because you are in a relationship with your creator. And that when you see your parents, they are actually temporary parents. They're there for 60 years, 70 years, 80 years. But Krishna is our evergreen parent. And if we're using this beautiful landscape, the mountains, the rivers, and we're not paying any taxes to the Supreme Creator. We're just giving tax to this federal creator in the local tax system. Then you can recognize that why we ought to owe something to the Supreme. And that's the number one out of the 5 points. I thought I'll just add it to.
Yeah, very wonderful point. Yeah, that is actually the correct way of looking at that. When we are paying at a material level the taxes, we should also pay at a spiritual level the taxes, which is all the 9 processes plus whatever we can from in propagating Krishna consciousness. Today, Bhakti Charu Maharaj was telling a quote, Prabhuji, I was reading. Since you told this, he told that breath of fresh air which we are breathing is itself, we shouldn't be frustrated, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. The breath of fresh air itself is a gift of God, Prabhuji. We have seen this. There were times where we could not go out because of this corona. We could not do anything which we were doing, right? And now he's slightly giving some relaxation, Krishna, and we can walk. We can with mask or without mask, that is. But the breath of air at one time was really at a stake for us. So that itself is, he is giving so much to us, but we don't recognize also. That is another issue which as a devotee we have to cultivate, that whatever we are getting is a gift of God, whatever we are.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Any other comments? Everyone is so quiet today for some reason. Is it? Any other thoughts, Prabhu?
Thank you.
Prabhuji, I'm going to India for a couple of weeks, Prabhuji. So 3 weekends, basically it's the marriage, because 1 weekend is marriage, 1 weekend is travel, and another weekend is travel back here. So I may not be able to attend, Prabhuji.
Oh, okay, okay. So sad to, we'll miss you, Prabhuji.
I'll also miss the Bhakti. I'll try to join, Prabhuji, if I'm not in the plane or something. I'll try to join.
And Prajapati Prabhu is for last 1 year, he's been giving company from India. So
right.
Thank you. But you are traveling, so it will not be easy for you.
I will be in the plane first weekend. I will be in the plane. Second weekend, it is the marriage, Prabhuji, the same day on the weekend. And the third weekend, I'm traveling back here.
So have a pleasant journey, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Any other comments? We have Trallaka Prabhu, Anuradha Mataji, Rohit Prabhu, Govil Mataji, Niranjan Prabhu, Pradeep Prabhu. Any thoughts or any reflections?
Today, Prabhuji, the class was very wonderful. If anyone asks what is your favorite sloka in Bhagavad Gita, I'll remember this for sure. So yeah, this explains many things in one sloka. I would put it that way. Everything that we have to do and we have to follow. So this is my opinion about the entire class and the sloka taken also. So yeah, this will be my favorite sloka if anyone questions me. So thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you for sharing.
Mataji, since Mataji told, I was thinking, Prabhuji, when you were telling, this is called the ABCDE also, right, Prabhuji? What we call in ISKCON. A is association, B is books, C is chanting, D is devotional service, and E is envy. The hate you are telling. Hate comes because of the envy, Prabhuji.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like the essence of that. As Mataji told, this is one of the crux of the Bhagavad Gita.
Right, absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Prabhu.
Here I like the the essence here that you can do service the way you want. Means there are many ways you can serve the Lord Krishna. That's the one I like here actually.
Yes, absolutely. There are 9 steps. Then they're not really sequential. You can pick depending on you like to hear. You can do Shravanam. You like to sing, or you like. Then if you want to do Atmanivedanam, body, mind, words. There are. So Krishna is very flexible. He's very flexibly accessible, and so beautifully Prahlad Maharaj has mentioned that in Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you for sharing that, Prabhuji. Any other comments?
Thank you.
Thank you. Some small announcements before, if I may. This Thursday is Balram Jayanti, the appearance day of Lord Balram or Lord Balabhadra, as you can see in our temple. He is the first expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it's also celebrated as Rakhi Purnima. And there will be beautiful darshan in our temple of Lord Balram on the Thursday. So don't miss that. And 4 days prior to the Balram Jayanti is Jhulan Yatra. So from Monday evening, 8:35 to 9, Tuesday, Wednesday, and of course Thursday, there will be Balram Jayanti. And on Saturday, there will be Jhulan Yatra, where there will be a swing, where Radha, Sam Sundar deities will be there on the Jhulan. So you can come and swing the Lord, because the Lord is swinging the whole world, whole universe. So this is an opportunity to have that form of reciprocation and basically serve them by swinging the Jhulan so that they are pleased. And the Sunday is the Indian Independence Day Parade on Oaktree Road, starting from Cinder Road in front of Apna Bazaar all the way to the end. And the last participant in the Indian Independence Day Parade for the last 15 odd years has been our temple's Rath Yatra cart. Beautiful cart is coming from Ohio, huge cart, probably the biggest cart in New Jersey, where the Lord is seated in a very upright position. And we will start the parade as part of the Indian Independence Day Parade, the chariot procession from 1 p.m. on Sunday from the intersection of Oaktree Road and Cinder Road, which is just opposite to Apna Bazaar. And that will end in Middlesex Avenue. And we'll have prasadam at the end around 4 o'clock. 25,000 people every year comes for Indian Independence Day Parade. And they're lucky that on that day, they'll get the mercy to see Lord Jagannath on the chariot. Otherwise, some of them, and there are dignitaries coming from India to always, so every second Sunday, we do the Oaktree Road Rath Yatra. And the next Friday, the next Friday, after Balram Jayanti and Rath Yatra, the next Friday is the appearance day of Lalla, Gopalji, Shyam Sundar, the Janmashtami, and there will be a 3-day program, with the Friday being the actual day of Janmashtami, where festivities are there till the midnight, and that will be a wonderful program, drama, devotional drama. The appearance day of Srila Prabhupada, which is the Nandotsav day, which is the day after appearance day of Gopal, King Nanda Baba gives a big feast to the Vrajvasis, and that is the day after the Janmashtami. And that day is also the appearance day of our founder Acharya, which is the Vyasa Puja of Srila Prabhupada. So that's the Saturday. And the next day we have extended celebrations. So just to put some dates in your context, the 11th of August, Thursday, is Balram Jayanti. 14th of August, Sunday, is Oaktree Road Rath Yatra. 19th of August is the actual day of Janmashtami. 20th of August is the Vyas Puja of Srila Prabhupada and Nandotsav. And 21st of August, Sunday, is the extended celebration of Janmashtami. So festivities galore, all the So much wonderful festivities are planned for you. There'll be a lot of food festivities and fun. And it's a step to usher our relationship and foster our devotion and increase our bhakti in our hearts. So do some service, contribute. If you have any questions, let us know. But there's 2 weeks of powerful fun and reciprocation of devotion with the appearance of 2 huge personalities. Balram is full of power. The first expansion is appearing coming week. Then next week, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Shyam Sundar Gopal is taking, we're going to celebrate his appearance day in the next week. So we may have some disruption to our Bhakti Vriksha depending on Saturdays, because there might be program. I had shared the flyer. Please come to temple, do some service, pray, chant more rounds, eat nice prasadam, and whenever there is a need to fast as well. So that will definitely help us in our Krishna consciousness. In Krishna consciousness, every day is a festival and every moment is ecstasy for devotees. So please join. If any comments, any questions about this festival or this announcement?
One question, Prabhuji. Can we keep the cart or it's only coming temporarily?
The Rath Yatra cart? No?
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji.
No, actually, the Rath Yatra cart is coming from Akhilanda Prabhu, who is actually a Prabhupada disciple, and he is in Ohio. And his cart this year came to Parsipani Rath Yatra, which was organized by temple. So he is like a traveling, his chariot is like a traveling chariot. Wherever, yeah. Okay. So we have very few huge chariots by ISKCON. We have only 2 or 3 or 4 devotees who have this huge chariot. So he won't let us keep actually, even if we want to keep.
Oh, okay. I thought we can keep it. I thought we ordered and we are getting it. But
no, it's on rent.
Oh, okay. Got it. Now I understood. It's a traveling cart, Prabhuji. So naturally, you can't ask me to do
right. And last year, Oaktree Road also, the same cart came, just for your information.
Oh, okay.
So any other question, comments?
I'm good, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So if there's no other question, we'll end here by offering our obeisances at the lotus feet of all the devotees who are attending today and every day. Vancha kalpataru vesya kripa sindhu vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Vaishnava vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.